So I guess today we're going to be shifting gears just a little bit because we have some new technology to showcase and some new functionality just to make your experience with Studio B a little bit easier. And I just want to leave this open for questions. I know that we're all joining through a Zoom link, and that's our weekly time is not going to change. Our weekly Zoom link will not change. So what we're going to be talking about today are just enhancements to what we're already doing. If you're looking to further your practice and also an organization of any additional practices that we are recommending. So just an ease of use with the Studio B tool. I would welcome any questions if you haven't had an opportunity to log into Studio B yet. You would log in with your email address that you have corresponding with work. Your temporary password for everybody is password with no caps, nothing fancy, and then you'll be prompted to change it. So I think that I'll just get started by sharing my screen, and I want to showcase the new technology that we have here. So if you have been, I'm just going to shuffle your faces around here so I can see what I'm doing. So if you have been on the Studio B platform before, this is the view that you would be used to seeing. Okay, where you can add to your favorites, and then you can see the long list of all of our teachers and facilitators. Up top, there's a calendar feature. What we have developed for your group is a landing page specific to the Windermere real estate group. So the next time you come in, if you land on this page and you go under your name, you can switch over to Windermere Real Estate.
Mm.
And so this is your private view in to Studio B. So we want to welcome you here. And we also, actually, this just came up. Would you keep an eye on the waiting room? I just realized that I usually do that. Okay. So we want to welcome you in. And what we hope to accomplish by offering up this landing page is a more condensed view in. And what we've gathered here to the left are live classes that we offer. So every day when you log in, or every time you log in, you'll see any live classes that are being showcased. And so starting next week at this time, this live class will appear here. So that is one way that you can enter into this live class. If right now you're entering in through a Zoom link that you have on your calendar, then you can continue to do it that way. But if you happen to be in the page and you want to access it this way, you can certainly access it this way. And the way that you would do that is you would click on the class, and then there would be a link that says click to join. So if we wanted to join Nancy's live aromatherapy for stress management, right here it says 0 classes because we're not close enough to the time where it's starting. Within 5 minutes before the class starts, there'll be a little arrow here that says click to join. And so that's how you would join a live class. And then to get back, you're simply going to click back on the Windermere real estate icon up here. So this is going to showcase any live classes. If you wanted to see an expanded view of our live class calendar, you would simply click over here. And, let's say tomorrow morning you're up at 6 a.m. and you want to join Jessica for a 15-minute kindness meditation. This is another live class that's being held. And then, of course, on Thursday, if we skip ahead, Jyoti has an all levels movement class, which is 30 minutes long, and that's at 12 o'clock your time. You're seeing 3 o'clock my time because I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah, I was going to say that it will naturally show whatever your time zone is. So this is showing the East Coast time zone, but when you log in, it will show Pacific time zone for all of the live classes.
Exactly. So you can see the vast array of live classes that we have. So if you're enjoying, these weekly sessions that we're having together, please, go in and make some some other discoveries. Now, what you're going to find down here is what we've organized is all the weeks that we've met are recorded and here to access. So you can see weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. And if you click on this arrow, the recording of that session is going to come up. Last week, we had somebody ask if they could go back because they missed some. So now they're all organized here. You don't have to worry about going back into emails to search for recording links.
And I was just going to say, Gretchen, I apologize that the dates and times are not currently correct there on those containers. That's just something that the tech is still fixing. So they are organized correctly by week, and those dates will be corrected soon. So don't let that trip you up.
Right, the April 5th. Thank you. And next, so moving forward, we're going to be going into the Simple Practices program. And the Simple Practices program was really designed to give you tools and resources, much like we've been doing with the introduction to mindfulness, but things that you can use in your everyday life. And we're going to be following these themes. So each week we'll be moving through one of our four themes, which are be, open, curious, and the fourth one is kind. So each week there will be same typical format that we've been following, where there's a brief introduction, there's a practice, and then starting next week, you can access the live class, like I said, by clicking on this B or clicking up in the live classes. But what's going to happen is after the class is over, it'll be recorded and placed into this B container. And then any additional practices that we're suggesting, we're going to continue to email those to you, but then you're also going to find them. They'll fall right here between the B and the open. So if it's Thursday and you said, I really want to check out one of the practices that they suggested on Tuesday, you would log in, you would find the B, and then there would be additional practices to follow. You could click on one of those for a suggestion. And so we're going to kind of follow that pattern as we move through the next month. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Does anybody have any questions? I'm not used to being in the presenting seat here.
Is the website built on WordPress or are you using a different platform?
I don't believe it's on WordPress, but I don't know the answer to that, Sai. I could find out
Okay.
for you.
I was just curious.
We have a group out of Colorado that has developed this technology for us. So it's been really great to see it kind of transform, and like this is brand new. We just got this all put together last week. So if you have any suggestions, that's another thing I wanted to bring up, or anything that comes up for you that might seem like a glitch, screenshot it and send it my way. We really want any kind of feedback that you might have, whether it be good, technical, really anything, so we can improve the functionality. So if you're finding something and you're thinking, oh, this doesn't make sense to me, please send me a quick message and I'd be happy to see what we can do to make that easier. I'm going to turn it over to Jyoti because she had a lot to do in creating these beautiful playlists.
So the playlists are here as really a support mechanism for you continuing to develop your mindfulness practice. So you can see there are 8 containers here, and we've sort of organized them in the way that we think you might engage with them through the day. So there's a wake up, midday pause, breath break. You can't see there, but it says desk movement, so movement while you're seated. Brain break, which is when you really need to kind of change the channel of your brain out of work to something different. Micro meditations, these are all 10 minutes or less. Get up and move, and then wind down. Now, why don't, Gretchen, if you want to click on, let's do midday pause. So click on midday pause, and what it will do is it will take you down, and there are 9 pieces of content in each of these containers. So you have 72 pieces of content in those 8 containers. So in that midday pause, for instance, we have a class, there's a 3-minute pause. If you go back to, I think it was, yep, that's a class with Jessica. That's a 3-minute pause that you could do at your desk just to kind of reset your mind. The pause, soften, and connect is another kind of midday practice. These are not all meditations. There's different kinds of pauses. Some of them are talks, some of them are meditations, some of them are sound oriented, but just different short practices to help you pause and center and reconnect to your day. And that's the same thing if you scroll down a bit, Gretchen, let's see. So like the wake up, like if you were to click on the wake up in the morning before you come into work, there's something as simple, this is like there's a before sunrise song. There's if you want to do more of a movement practice. If you slid to the right a little bit, Gretchen, there's Qigong. There's also more of a restorative yin-based practice for your nervous system. So there's lots of different kinds of practices. We didn't just put 9 yoga practices out there. There's really something for everyone of all different levels of how you might choose to wake up into your day. And like I said, every one of these containers has 9 pieces of content for you to explore and find your favorites, okay? Yeah, so there's meditations, there's a sound healing, which is with the crystal bowls, that's really cool. So yeah, are there any questions arising around those 8 playlists, how you might use those, what is included in them?
No, it looks great.
Good.
I love the desk movement. I know we started to introduce a little bit of movement last week, and these are perfect. I know I'm sitting in my chair all day, and like before bed last night, my lower back was hurting, and just doing some of these simple movements during the day really helps take some of the stress that we are putting on our body. So
actually, right there, Gretchen, that's a great connection. If you go back to the left a little bit, like the spinal cord breathing we did last week in our practice. And so if you clicked on that, Gretchen, then it will take you to a 5-minute practice with Sid Munce, who's one of our fabulous teachers on the platform. That's 5 minutes of that beautiful spinal breathing. That's really easeful. So that's right there in that desk movement container that you could check out. But you could also see, Gretchen, if you slide down, you can see that there are these other 5 practices that are very similar to the spinal cord breathing that Sid also has, that are seated movement, that are all around that 5 to 10 minute time frame. So it's like on Netflix when you click a movie and you love it, and it's like, well, if you loved this, you might also like this. And that's kind of what is happening here for you. So what we're really hoping is that this feels like a really safe place for you to explore. I used the analogy the other day of like if there's a little estuary that's sort of protected and it's its own little small ecosystem. We've developed that for you all here. That's just your Windermere community with content that we hope really speaks to you. And then as you get more comfortable, you might explore kind of the bigger ocean of the full big co-op platform and check out more teachers and content there. But this is really specific that we hope makes it feel a little bit more easeful to engage with what's available so that it's not overwhelming, because we're all making a million decisions a day right now. We want to keep this really easy and straightforward.
Yeah, and ultimately you're going to, hopefully by having it organized in this way, figure out a time of day that works for you. I know that my days are different every day with kids and juggling schedules. So sometimes my morning is super rushed, and I realize by midday that I do need to do something. So this is really just to help you find that, 3 to 10 minutes out of a day to find some relief, whether it be through breathing or movement.
I know that we are a little bit past our 10:15 time, but I wanted to extend, if you're available to stay for like 5 more minutes, Jessica, if you might like to guide us through like a 3-minute pause, and
Sure.
see how it feels to kind of sit with this new information and before we just leave. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And before we begin, I just want to highlight also what Jyoti was mentioning earlier about feedback and Gretchen as well. As you start to engage the practices, we'd love to know what works for you, what feels like it doesn't, and what do you want more of, or what are you not seeing that's not there, not be what's, and so it's just nice to know exactly, not exactly, but just in the moment, like how your practice is developing. And we're all in process and we're practicing with you and it's changing all the time. So it's great to hear how it is for you. And I guess with that, we can see how actually it is with this 3 minutes. So if you want to take a position that feels supportive for the body just now, if that's seated, if that's standing, if that's kind of laying back, and inviting the eyes to close if that feels comfortable. If you prefer to have them open, you may find a point in front of you just to rest the gaze softly. And if you'd like, you can begin the practice here by knowing that you're breathing, acknowledging that you're pausing here to be with this breathing body. If you'd like, you can feel the breath just by deliberately deepening the breath if that feels accessible just now. So just breathing in, knowing that you're breathing in. And as you're breathing out, knowing you're breathing out. If you'd like to connect to a place in the body, maybe with the breath or the feet on the ground, maybe there's a sound in the environment that the attention is gravitating towards. Take just a moment here to connect to an anchor, a place where the attention can rest and ground. This is your choice. Thoughts may be present like waves in the ocean, coming, going, and you have your anchor here to ground you in presence. And when this little pause in the day, if you'd like, you can invite this inquiry. How is the body right now? How's the heart, the mind? Not needing to have an answer, but just that asking is a small act of kindness. How are you doing? And so, if you'd like to, you can bring this practice into your day. As you're pouring a glass of water, just feeling the hand connect to the cup. If you're standing, seated, connecting to the feet on the ground or the breath in the body. Choosing anchors wherever you are, noticing how they change, getting to know what it feels like to support the body that you have. And as you're feeling ready, just begin to get a sense of the posture just now, noticing if there's tension, inviting a little bit of ease, even in some motion to the body if that feels supportive. Maybe rolling the shoulders back or inviting a stretch, a deep breath, whatever feels supportive. And then gently opening the eyes in your own time without rushing, maybe even connecting to your space before you get back to the screen here. Thank you for practicing, for taking this short pause. And I invite, feedback, taking this into your own hands as practice. And maybe next week you can teach us a little bit of how to connect with a short pause. We're learning this together. So thank you, everyone.
So we'll hang out. If
Josie,
anyone
anything
has
to
any,
add, Gretchen?
yeah, I was just going to say we'll hang out if anyone has any questions or wants a little bit more clarification on how to use your little estuary platform. But just a reminder, next week we will resume or actually start with the simple practices, starting with a bee practice. So we'll go back to our normal routine of a full practice next week. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. You're so appreciated. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Yes.
Thank you so much.
This is great.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Joey.
I just want to say that I really love this new platform and it feels so accessible now.
Oh, good.
I mean, just seeing it on screen here and the variety of things. I mean, there's so much to choose from and go through. I just really like this a lot. I appreciate that.
Mhm. There's so
Very
much to choose from. Wow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you have feedback, it is here to serve you. So if something doesn't work or
Great.
you wish it worked in a different way, like let us know, because this tool is for you.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, ladies.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Jennifer.
Thank you all.
Right.
Tell Joe we missed him. I know he's out of town this week, but yeah. Tell him we
He's having
missed
a great
him.
time, so,
Yeah.
all right.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy.